Well, hello there and thanks for joining me. Winter Wonder Legoland and we go cross-country like Santa himself. We'll be taking no reindeer though, but rather extreme off-road vehicles in A-Class in this week's trial co-op championship called Extreme Cross Country Tour. Remember, if you do enjoy this video, please press all the right buttons. First race of this championship, the Airport Rush Cross Country Circuit. And we did this race already in one of the previous championships. Check out that video as well, you might just enjoy that one too. That one's called the Awesome All-Terrain Tour and do check it out. Now let's embark on this magical journey, and you might think that Santa has all the magic, but these drivatars pull some serious Harry Potter tricks out of their heads. And as we go into this next corner, keep an eye on the front of the pack and you'll notice something Doctor Strange going on. Goofball pushes Fireside Yeti out of the checkpoint and it seems completely out of the race. The leaderboard seems them drop down, but on the minimap they went to the side. But now keep an eye on the leaderboard where with the help of Rudolph, Hedwig and Doctor Strange himself they magically reappear. And take a look at the minimap. Well, they just crossed the finish line. And I battle it out for 4th position, which I take, and then 3rd position, which I'm also able to take just across the finish line. But I have very little hope of catching our magical and thus superior opponents. They are quite far ahead and I am slowly gaining on them. But will another lap and a half be enough to catch them? All of this forbidden sorcery messes up with the points, of course, and it's not like we muggles can file a complaint with the Ministry of Magic, now can we? Things are thus looking very bleak for us as we almost cross the finish line to start our final lap. And as usual, I go a little bit deep on this next corner as we see the racer in last place take the jump from the helipad. We race towards the tight hairpin on the grass and I always shift down to 2nd gear, which helps me take this corner very tight, and then I'm off again. I noticed that the leaders now are going very slow and it gave me a little bit of hope, but well, it is not enough, by far not enough, as they are heading towards the finish line as I still have to take this last corner. I did develop some lead over the drivatars behind me, but also that does not really help as we are way behind on points. And to be fair, if you calculate the points, if those cheaters would finish behind me, we would still lose. However, it might have been a completely different race, so shame on you, Forza. First race, a complete disaster thanks to some cheeky, cheating drivatars. Although I think I did fairly well, and let's hope we can at least maintain that. So 600 points for us, 1850 points for them. Meaning Team Drivatar wins, and it's 1 point for them as, well, we head towards the next race. And this next race is a point-to-point race called the Brickchester Tour Cross Country. And let's hope Santa is needed at the North Pole, Harry needs to fend off some Dementors, and Doctor Strange, well, he wants to outsmart Dormammu. So we hopefully can have a proper race. And I start in the same position as the previous race, the 2nd human player. Let's see how this race goes. Here we go. And I want to steer clear, but they decide to sandwich me. Luckily I managed to escape as we head towards the first of many jumps. And I go flying by other racers onto the next jump. And I was in 7th position just before the first jump, and now I'm in 3rd place. Not bad for the first part of the race. Next jump is a little bit strange as we get pushed down somehow, as the drivatar seems to slow down, giving me 1st position already. And by the way, if you did not already know, the danger sign on the airfield is best taken in the same direction as we now did, as it will get you much further than the other way around. And I just plowed through everything, no chance on steering clear or everything here. And this jump goes a little bit strange, but nothing too troublesome, as the next checkpoint is a very wide one. I have a solid lead as it seems. I have quite some distance on 2nd place. However, it is very close on points with a short lead for the red team. And now a small lead for us. And this next jump is a dangerous one as it lands us in the water. Water can be dangerous all by itself in Forza Horizon, but when landing on it, it adds another level of danger. However, I'm in luck as nothing bad happens. I keep to the side here just to avoid the water while I can. However, in this GTI-styled canal, or Greece if you're older, or some big American city if you happen to live there, I just keep to the water as it is not worth the effort to have 2 wheels out of the water, as it makes the steering very tricky. I landed just at the end of the stream, so it did not really slow me down as I head towards the soccer field and try to avoid as much of the clutter as possible. And next up is the beach, where I tend to try to take the inside line, and I take the jump rather than take the wide line through the water. Not sure which one is faster, as with this line it is impossible to avoid everything, but I barely have to wade through any water, so there's that. I do take a couple of the beach chairs and umbrellas, avoid the houses, but still have to plow through a lot of fences. Rode for a short distance, building up some serious speed as I shift to 6th gear for the first time, and I go too hot for the next corner. Who would have thought? I managed to escape complete disaster and continue my journey towards the finish line. As we're down on points again, if we lose this race, it'll be over. We won't be able to win the championship then. And we go to the final jump, where I enter the stunt park, where I try to avoid the big piles of Lego bricks. They tend to slow you down more than you want to. And I head towards the finish line in 1st position, as we now have a very small lead in points. Will we win this race? Let's find out. We lead by 50 points. No one can afford to lose a position. They all have to hang on tight. But will we be able to? 4th position is in. Let's see if we can also secure places 8 and 9. Very exciting. 8 is secured. And a couple of seconds left. Will we be able to secure 9 as well? We do, although they did not finish. 2nd race is ours, and thus it is a tie between both teams, and it all depends on the 3rd race of this co-op championship. And the final race takes us to the desert and the little oasis with the island in the middle. And it also takes us to the UFO landing site, although the UFOs are removed. And as the title already disclosed, there will be jumps, not blood, no blood in Forza Horizon. The Oasis jumps cross-country circuit. 3rd time is a charm, as I start in the exact same position once again. And I know my launch is better than that of the black drivatar. And this time I take to the inside, which is, I think, a good choice, as it gives me some space to maneuver in. And it also gives me the inside of the first corner, allowing me to pass some more drivatars as we head towards the UFO landing site, where we have some night corners to weave through. And I take a very different line than the Jeep drivatar, which allows me to pass him. And I also pass the bowler without too much effort as we start our jump section. First one is a dangerous one, again because it has us land in water, but also because we have to turn. And it also can happen that you go a little bit too fast, which will then completely screw up that corner. And even when not landing too far, the corner is a bit tricky and prone to be taken wide. Next up, the blind jump over the desert dune. But now watch the minimap and the scoreboard. The blue racer went straight on that first jump, I assume, and somehow Forza places him first, but then he decides to quit, which strengthens my belief that he went flying off in the wrong direction as we head towards the finish line to start our second lap. We have a leading point, well, which fluctuates a little bit, but I do hope we can maintain the lead, and I love this fast section, followed by the zigzagging checkpoints as I shift back to third to keep a nice momentum with a little bit of a slide, and I can't go too fast as I would, that would make me hit the wall. And the first jump really is a strange one, as it is near impossible to have a straight line approach. And I had far too many misfortunes bestowed upon me here, so I tend to take my foot off the gas for that jump. Shift back to third. And then second to go through the tight hairpin as I go over the Oasis jumps. And that jump always has us touch down on the last portion of the island, or it can also land you in the water if you go fast enough, and then followed by another jump that will send you flying towards the finish line. Both jumps are dangerous though, but then again, all jumps can be dangerous, especially in Forza Horizon, as really anything can happen. It can send you flying off to either side, it can turn you mid-air, it can mess you up on the landing. There's really no telling what will happen. As we head towards the first jump again for the last time this race, this one is the most dangerous one as it combines all dangers. No straight line approach, landing in the water just before turn. And again, I'm in luck with a decent run as we go for the blind jump over the dune. But we are behind on points as I head towards the last two jumps. And do take a close look as I approach it very straight, but I run out of luck and the landing twists my car. I try to correct, but the next jump is far too close to do anything, and well, I go flying off in a direction I should not be going. I still manage to keep my first place as I approach the finish line, but looking at the scoreboard, I fear the worst. I finish in first place, so hooray for that. And then one more racer decides to quit, and I bow down to you as that tips the balance in our favor, and we suddenly lead with 50 points, and that's also a secured win, as all points are for me, and they cannot gain any more points. So gentle break is a very, very gentle, break, I assume. And it seems that the rest of the pack was a very long distance behind, as it takes quite some time for them to finish. Blue team wins, and I get my victory dance. 3 races. I finished first on the last 2, and by order of the Ministry of Magic, I'm no longer allowed to mention whatever it was that happened before those 2 races. Well, actually, there were only 2 races this championship. I have absolutely no recollection of whatever of a third race. All of this makes us winners of the championship, and we gain another extreme prize in the form of a super wheel spin. And I do hope you enjoyed this episode, and if that happens to be the case, then you know what to do. Go press all those right buttons, and maybe go watch some other videos on my channel. See you next week.